Cool.
Good afternoon. So my name is Sophie and what do? Well, I need to give you a bit of my background before I tell you what I actually do so you understand where I'm coming from. I used to manage people. I used to manage men out of all things, and for that reason I actually find I understand the male psyche a lot better than I do the female psyche. A lot of the time they would come to me with their problems, and I found that helping them out would in the long run make my life easier. So I started just lending an ear and listening to why they cheated to the wife, or why they didn't, or why they were single, and why all the dates were going wrong, and what was going on at home with the kids, with whatever it was. Either way, I started building quite a life experience through them, because there were things I'd not experienced myself, but through them I could actually get it. I took redundancy 2012 because I'd had enough. We'd been bought out, and I decided to retrain, do all these wonderful things, and I started mentoring people as an NVQ assessor. Didn't particularly like it. It's a tick the box exercise. It doesn't make the person grow. It literally wasn't for me. So I set up this company called Sophisticated Singles to create events for single people. 40 plus, people who've been married, just haven't got the foggiest clue where to go once they're divorced, don't know. They just actually don't know. What I found whilst doing that is the false sense of expectations and the pressure that people put on themselves. When we talk about comfort zone, this is where the magic happens. People are quite happy to sit at home on a Saturday night in a PJ with a bottle of wine, going through the meat catalogues of men or women, and picking them, started talking to them, but then when it comes to meeting them, it's like, oh no, he's not this, he's not that, she's not this, she's not that, they don't earn enough money, they're not... And all of that brews, and then they say, I just can't meet anybody. The truth of the matter is, they haven't actually dealt with the emotional baggage. So as I was hosting events, I could see that all around me. I was listening to it, and I could see, you're single for that reason, you're single for that reason, and I started thinking, actually I can do a lot more. That would be more rewarding for me too. So I started this NLP course, didn't have a clue what it was, if I'm totally honest. I sat there on the first day and I thought, well, that's not what I thought it was. But it actually changed my life, because like everyone, we all have issues. Most of them stem from childhood, but some of them, grow over time in like the way people respond to us. So I started that, still did a few events, but wasn't enjoying it, and then I did coaching full time. It started off being just for single people, but I found that actually it's the relationship within ourselves that's the most important. Once we get to the bottom of our own issues, once we understand ourselves and our so-called flaws, which actually aren't flaws, it's just things that you work with and you adjust, and actually there might be a flaw to one person but not to another. Once that was settled, you could then work to finding the right person. But I also then found that I was attracting other kind of people who had issues in their marriage, people who had issues with their kids, people who had issues with their parents. And the first marriage I saved, actually, I'm still quite glowing about that, because it was actually done in an hour, because that's the way neurolinguistic programming works. It can just happen if you can get into the right click and rapport with a person. So I started maybe targeting a different kind of customer that wasn't just single, and I just found through my own experiences through the last year that actually I need to help people with relationships in general, as opposed to just the singles or the married or whatever. Relationships are at the core of everything. My nervous breakdown was caused by rejection. First of all, as a child, through school, because my parents were doctors and there was an element of jealousy. So kids at school would struggle with me, and I was put down, or I wasn't liked, or I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do that. The worst thing that happened, sometime one afternoon, some kids had come round to my house, and there was a few of them, and when they left I found all my dollies had permanent marker all over their faces, and I guess this was one of these things, it's a knock. But then through life you get loads of knocks, and you get to a point where you just get that last drop in the vase, and that's it, it's gone. So I had to coach myself. I refused tablets, and I managed to get to the bottom of the issue, which is rejection. I couldn't deal with rejection. I also could no longer deal with pressure or targets. So I decided that from now on, everything's coming from the heart, and the goals, the targets, yeah, I'm setting them, but in a different way. No deadlines, no by such a day this is going to happen, by such a day this is going to happen. I just go with what I feel and my gut instincts. So everybody at some point has a problem, either within themselves or in their relations. And if they want to talk to me about it, even just for an informal chat, then just send them to me just for a chat. It doesn't have to be public. It can be over the phone. I do most of my work through Skype now. So there you go. My name is Sophie, and I hope you to help yourself. That was